EVs are the future. It should be very clear at this point that electric vehicles or EVs are quickly replacing internal combustion engine or ICE vehicles as consumers' preferred method of transportation. And eventually, whether it takes 10 or 20 years, 100% of new vehicles sold across the world will be EVs. Here we can see EVs claimed only 8.3% market share of new vehicles sold across the world in 2021, including hybrid EVs, which aren't even fully electric. Therefore, the adoption of battery electric vehicles or BEVs is still only at the beginning stages of the S-curve, meaning there is tons of exponential growth to come. Now, when it comes to Tesla's EV market share specifically, they are the clear global leader, which is bullish point number 2. Tesla published this chart in their Q1 2022 earnings report, highlighting how their market share as a percentage of total new vehicles sold is growing exponentially in all major auto markets in the world, namely the US and Canada, Europe, and China. In the US specifically, Tesla maintained its top spot, holding 75% of the EV market share in Q1 2022, while it has a 72% US market share for battery electric vehicles only. Even when it comes to the global EV market, Tesla remains the top dog, having produced the most BEVs with nearly 14% market share, while its closest competitor is VW with 11.3%. Needless to say, Tesla's EV market share is far ahead of its competitors. Alright, moving on to bullish point number 3, Teslas are the best-selling premium vehicles. Not only does Tesla lead in BEV sales, but they also lead in the entire premium auto market as a whole, which includes ICE vehicles and EVs. In 2021, the Tesla Model Y and Model 3 were the top-selling premium SUV and sedan respectively in the US in 2021, beating out ICE competitors like BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Audi, and Acura. Considering the fact that Tesla only produced less than 1 million EVs in the world in 2021, yet they still achieved the top premium vehicles in the US is mind-blowing. Consumers are becoming increasingly aware of a Tesla's value proposition and are willing to pay much more for a premium product, just like you would an Apple iPhone. And speaking of value proposition, the fourth bullish point is that Teslas are the most efficient EVs on the road. From Tesla's 2021 impact report, we can see just how much more energy efficient the Tesla Model Y is when compared to other small EV SUVs available on the market. While the Tesla Model Y can achieve 4 miles per kilowatt hour, their next closest competitor is VW with an EPA efficiency of only 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour. The same goes for the Tesla Model 3, where it can achieve 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour, while the next closest mid-sized EV sedan competitor is Polestar with an EPA efficiency of only 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Needless to say, Tesla is far ahead of their competition when it comes to EV energy efficiency, and that's because of their top-notch engineering, but also the ability to launch over-the-air software updates that will automatically increase the efficiency of the car. Bullish point number 5 is that Teslas are the safest cars on the road, period. Now, there are a few reasons for this, namely the low rollover risk for EVs in general, with the battery pack being on the floor, but also the multitude of safety features integrated within Tesla EVs. Tesla engineers their EVs to be the safest in the world, having achieved 5-star NHTSA safety ratings overall and in every category. In fact, at the end of 2021, the Tesla Model Y received the highest possible safety rating according to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, or IIHS. And here's a comparison chart from Tesla's 2021 impact report highlighting the safety of a Tesla compared to other luxury brands like Mercedes and Audi. Finally, Teslas even have far fewer accidents per mile driven versus the rest of the US vehicle fleet, especially when Tesla Autopilot is engaged. That leads me nicely into bullish point number 6, and that would be for Tesla insurance. In addition to the safety features already integrated within Tesla EVs, Tesla calculates a safety score for each individual Tesla driver by using specific driver data such as driving speed, braking, turning, following distance, etc. As such, Tesla is able to offer competitive insurance rates in certain US states based on a driver's safety score, which they plan on eventually rolling out to the entire US. In fact, many drivers have reported significant savings in their monthly premiums as opposed to traditional insurance companies like Geico or Progressive. I personally believe that Tesla Insurance will take significant market share from traditional insurance companies, since these companies simply don't have the driver data to support their insurance premiums and therefore won't be able to compete with Tesla. So Tesla Insurance could be a massive business. Let's get straight into bullish point number 7 for buying Tesla stock, and that would be for their unbeatable infotainment system. Have you ever been extremely annoyed with your car's lagging infotainment system or the lack of updates to even keep it current? Because I know I have. On the other hand, Tesla's infotainment system includes up-to-date navigation, satellite view maps, video streaming on Netflix, karaoke, music streaming, and even an internet browser when you subscribe to premium connectivity for $13.99 per month. They also have built-in games such as Beach Buggy Racer, which plays like Mario Kart and is played via the steering wheel of the car. In addition, Tesla just upgraded the infotainment systems for the new Model 3 and Model Y, which now use the AMD Ryzen chip, offering up to 10 teraflops of processing power, being on par with the current generation consoles like the Sony PS5. Guys, just think about the future implications of this. Once Tesla solves FSD, people will be able to game or watch movies from their car directly as the car is driving itself. Talk about a forward-looking company. Alright, now aside from Tesla EVs themselves, Tesla's manufacturing expertise is equally as impressive, which is bullish point number 8 today. With Tesla's mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, the best way they can achieve this is through creating massive and efficient manufacturing facilities known as gigafactories. In 2022, Tesla's already opened up 2 brand new gigafactories, one in Berlin, Germany, and the other much larger one in Austin, Texas. In fact, Elon Musk said the Model Y production line at Giga Austin will be the highest volume production line in the world of any vehicle. Tesla's new gigafactories include the most advanced technology of any automotive factories in the world and are highly efficient both in production cost and time. For example, Volkswagen stated it takes them 30 hours to manufacture an EV, while in Giga Shanghai it only takes Tesla 10 hours, 1/3 of the time of its closest competitor. Based on this fact alone, Tesla's manufacturing expertise should speak for itself. Moving into bullish point number 9, Tesla fosters an incredible innovation culture. In 2021, Tesla was ranked the 5th most innovative company in the world according to the Boston Consulting Group, only falling behind other trillion-dollar tech giants like Apple, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. I firmly believe Tesla will improve their position too, beating out some of these other tech giants because of some of the crazy innovations they've made over the past few years. For example, the GigaPress and GigaCasting machines, which allow Tesla to cast hundreds of car parts into one detailed body segment while eliminating thousands of welds necessary, are huge for Tesla's operations. Not only does this improve the cost and time efficiency of their operations, but it also improves the reliability and safety of their EVs too. Another instance of innovation was when Tesla began rewriting software code for chips of different kinds to maintain their manufacturing operations during the global chip shortage, while other automakers were forced to shut down. Alright, now bullish point number 10 highlights another one of Tesla's incredible innovations, and that would be the 4680 structural battery pack. As part of Tesla's brand new Gigafactory in Austin, Texas, Tesla is developing a new production line for their newly designed 4680 battery cells, which will be used in the new Model Y structural battery pack. Not only are these 4680 battery cells far more efficient for use in Tesla's EVs, but the 4680 structural battery pack also reduces the number of parts used in the battery and vehicle, which helps cut manufacturing costs. According to Tesla, the structural battery pack reduces the size of the pack manufacturing line by half compared to the company's other factories. Furthermore, this innovation also reduces the overall weight of the car and improves crash performance as a result. So once Tesla can scale their 4680 battery line to full production, this will be a huge moneymaker for the company. Bullish point number 11, Tesla has several long-term material supply contracts. The primary bottleneck when it comes to scaling battery production and thus EV production is the raw material supply chain. Many EV startups and existing ICE automakers are sharing lofty goals for EV production over the next 5 to 10 years, but many haven't sourced the necessary materials to make it happen. Tesla was one of the first automakers to begin building relationships with mining companies to secure EV battery materials such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel. In fact, today, Tesla currently has 12 unique suppliers for their materials, making them very well diversified upstream, and they just recently signed another new long-term contract with a supplier out of Canada named Vale. Furthermore, Elon even tweeted that they might need to get into the lithium mining business too if raw material prices remain too high. So basically, Tesla will do absolutely anything they can to achieve their mission. Moving on to bullish point number 12, Tesla has incredibly strong demand. It's no secret that everyone and their grandma wants an EV nowadays, but the supply simply isn't there, even for Tesla. As a result, Tesla is now supply constrained, not demand, meaning that consumers are having to wait between 3 and 11 7 months for a new Tesla. And the fact that Tesla has such strong demand means that they've been able to raise prices along with inflation to combat rising costs in the supply chain. Therefore, Tesla is becoming bigger and more profitable than ever, while other auto companies have been struggling with falling revenues and profits lately. Overall, the best type of business that you can own during inflationary times is one that has pricing power, and that is exactly what Tesla has. Bullish point number 13, Tesla does not advertise while they actually benefit from their competitors' advertising. The entire lifetime of Tesla, the company has not paid a single dollar in advertising, yet they've been able to achieve this insane demand. This simply goes to show that Tesla's products speak for themselves and they don't need to alert or try and trick consumers with ads into buying one. Furthermore, Tesla indirectly benefits from their competitors' ads too. Companies like GM and Ford chose to advertise EVs during the Super Bowl, even though they essentially had no products to sell. And as a result, Tesla's orders spiked huge the day right after the Super Bowl, as we can see in this chart from their Q1 2022 earnings report. Coincidence? I think not. Moving on to bullish point number 14, Tesla's massive supercharger network. When it comes to refueling an EV, Tesla has built out the world's largest supercharger network, which now has over 33,500 supercharger connectors across over 3,700 supercharger stations, which just grew at 38% year over year. As such, whenever a Tesla driver plans a road trip, Tesla's trip planner will include the necessary supercharger station stops to make it to your destination. Now, Tesla's closest competitor when it comes to their supercharger network is Electrify America, which is only about 10% of the size of Tesla's network. Moreover, Electrify America offers slower charging times as well as a much higher electricity cost per kilowatt hour than Tesla's superchargers cost. So once Tesla opens up their supercharger network to other EV owners as well, this should also boost the demand for Teslas, since everyone will have to download their app to use them. Bullish point number 15, Tesla has the best engineers in the world. According to a recent study done by Universum, in 2021, Tesla ranked the second most attractive employer for engineering students, only behind SpaceX. This means Tesla gets to pick the cream of the crop engineering students, while other automakers and tech companies get to pick from the rest of the applicant pool. In fact, Elon Musk recently said in an interview that Tesla will hire some employees contingent on them being able to work for both SpaceX and Tesla. So Tesla has a massive competitive advantage there, with many engineering students wanting to work at SpaceX as well as Tesla, so they're able to attract even better talent. Moving on to bullish point number 16, Tesla's enormous growth rates. Despite having already crossed the $1 trillion valuation mark, Tesla is still growing like a startup company when it comes to certain metrics. Firstly, in Q1 2022, Tesla grew their EV production 69% and their EV deliveries 68% year over year. Then as a result, Tesla's total Q1 revenue grew to $18.76 billion, up 81% year over year, while their total gross profit grew 147% year over year, as their gross margin expanded to 29.1%, up from 21.3% in the prior year quarter. And that leads me very nicely into bullish point number 17, which is Tesla's growing profitability. Without any exception, Tesla has the highest profit margins of any mass automaker in the industry, and they're still growing rapidly. Again, in Tesla's Q1 2022 earnings report, we can see their income from operations increased 507% year over year to $3.6 billion, as their operating margin expanded from 5.7% to 19.2% year over year. Just think about that. Tesla's operating margin more than tripled year over year. That is insane. Then on the bottom line, we can see Tesla's Q1 GAAP EPS increased 633% year over year to $2.86, while their non-GAAP EPS increased 246% year over year to $3.22, which is insane earnings growth. Finally, considering the fact that Tesla is a capital-intensive manufacturing business, they still generated $2.2 billion of free cash flow in Q1, being up 660% year over year, which is quite remarkable. Moving on to bullish point number 18, that would be Tesla's cheap valuation. Using some of the data we just found from Q1 2022 earnings, we can calculate just how cheap Tesla's valuation is relative to their earnings growth. So in the trailing 12 months, Tesla had GAAP EPS of $7.37 and non-GAAP EPS of $9.07, representing trailing PE ratios of 104 and 85 respectively, and I won't deny it, these are relatively high compared to other growth stocks. However, looking forward, we can estimate Tesla's 2022 EPS by annualizing their Q1 2022 GAAP and non-GAAP EPS, which came out to $11.44 and $12.88 respectively. Now, calculating Tesla's forward PE based on these 2022 numbers gives us 67 and 60 respectively, which are significantly lower than before. Finally, based on Tesla's EPS growth rate of 90% over 2021's non-GAAP EPS of $6.78, we can calculate Tesla's price-to-earnings growth ratio, or PEG ratio, to be 0.67. For reference, Apple's PEG ratio is currently 2.5, meaning Tesla trades 3.5 times cheaper than Apple when factoring in both of their expected EPS growth rates. I rest my case. Bullish point number 19, Tesla has lots of cash and no debt. Tesla's balance sheet is by far the cleanest within the auto industry, where at the end of Q1 2022, they had over $17.5 billion in cash and cash equivalents, while their total debt, excluding financing liabilities, fell to only $88 million. This represents a cash-to-debt ratio of nearly 200x, which is absolutely incredible. And for reference, let's take a look at General Motors' balance sheet as of Q1 2022. Here on Inverse, we can see they have $29.4 billion of cash, while they have total short and long-term debt of $109.8 billion. Therefore, GM has a cash-to-debt ratio of only 0.27, which is very financially unstable. So clearly, Tesla's balance sheet is squeaky clean, and it is a huge outlier when it comes to the rest of the auto industry. Alright, now moving past the financials onto bullish point number 20, we have Tesla's full self-driving. Tesla's on the cutting edge of technology by developing a generalized AI approach to full self-driving, which no other company on the planet seems to be doing the way Tesla's doing it. Yes, there are other competitors such as Waymo and Cruise, but these softwares require pre-mapping all of the roads and won't be able to operate otherwise, which is known as the geofence solution, and it's really not that scalable. On the other hand, once Tesla's FSD becomes safer than a human driver, it could technically be scaled to any location in the world with similar rules of the road. Currently, Tesla's FSD beta costs $12,000 upfront, which is expected to continue increasing over time, or you can pay a monthly subscription fee of $200 per month. And once FSD becomes safer than a human driver, which I'm sure it will within the next 5 years or so, then Tesla's opt-in rate for FSD will skyrocket and they'll start generating tons of high-margin software recurring revenue. That leads me into bullish point number 21, and that would be Tesla's huge data advantage. When it comes to training an AI neural network, such as in the case of full self-driving, data is king. That's because training the FSD neural network to become extremely accurate requires billions of miles of driver data to cover all the edge cases, etc. And while tens, if not hundreds of companies are now working on a full self-driving technology, Tesla is the only company in the world with enough data to solve it. As Elon Musk tweeted on May 11th, 2022, without billions of miles of training data, solving self-driving is impossible, and I fully believe this to be true. Currently, Tesla has nearly 3 million cars having been delivered to customers, meaning there are nearly 3 million cars on the roads collecting driver data for Tesla every day. Now, if we assume only 75% of those 3 million cars are operating and they drive an average of 10,000 miles per year, that means Tesla is collecting roughly 22.5 billion miles of driver data per year. Needless to say, if any company has a chance at solving generalized full self-driving, it's Tesla. Alright, now the 22nd reason to be bullish on Tesla stock is for Tesla Energy. Just like the auto industry, the energy industry is equally going through a massive shift towards renewable energy from reliance on fossil fuels. Due to Tesla's expertise in battery and solar panel manufacturing, they are quickly becoming one of the world's largest energy providers through the Tesla Solar, Powerwall, and Megapack products they offer. And one day, it is expected that Tesla Energy could be just as big, if not bigger, than the auto business itself, which means there's tons of room to grow. When you think about it, Tesla essentially offers the entire suite of clean energy and transportation products that someone would need to live their life emissions-free. Alright, we're almost at the end here with bullish point number 23, and that would be Tesla's Dojo supercomputer. If you weren't already aware, Tesla designed their very own supercomputer for training AI neural networks. From Tesla's AI Day in August 2021, they believe Dojo will become the fastest supercomputer in the world at a speed of 1 exaflop or 1 quintillion flops. In order to make Dojo Dojo reality, Tesla also had to develop their own D1 chip to be used in Dojo, which reminds me of another company that developed their own chips for their very own computers and products. The name's just slipping my mind right now. Anyways, a single D1 chip is said to have a processing speed of 362 teraflops, and for reference, a PS5 only has the power of about 10 teraflops, so this D1 chip is about 36 PS5s put together. At some point in the future, I can imagine Tesla performing AI neural network training as a service, kind of like Amazon Web Services works, which could generate them billions of dollars in revenue and profits long term. Coming in with bullish point number 24, we have the humanoid robot. Along with the announcement of Dojo at AI Day in 2021, Tesla also teased at a future product called the humanoid robot, which Elon likes to call Optimus Subprime. At this point, investors simply don't understand the implications of how big the humanoid robot business could be for Tesla. Tesla is currently designing the humanoid robot to perform basic and repetitive tasks, such as moving boxes around the Gigafactory, but eventually Elon sees it being incredibly useful in all sorts of industries and capacities. Think about it, the world's entire labor market is probably worth hundreds of trillions of dollars, so if it could be disrupted by these humanoid robots replacing humans and their salaries, this could also be a multi-trillion-dollar business on its own. So with Tesla's expertise in real-world AI, they plan on translating their FSD software from robots on wheels, aka the Tesla EVs, to the robots with hands and feet, aka the humanoid robot. The implications are absolutely stunning, and the humanoid robot could eventually become Tesla's biggest venture, which is already in the design phase. Finally, my 25th bullish reason for buying Tesla stock is for Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, Elon Musk is arguably one of the best entrepreneurs and engineers of our generation, having created several businesses worth over $100 billion. Now, I will admit, Elon doesn't play nearly as important a role as he once did back in 2019 when the business was struggling to survive, since Tesla is running quite smoothly nowadays and they have over 100,000 employees. But Elon still provides Tesla with an incredible vision for the future and continues to instill an innovation culture within the company, making sure that Tesla never settles for the industry standard. Moreover, with Elon at the helm of both SpaceX and Tesla, he's able to get the top engineers at Tesla that would otherwise just want to work on projects at SpaceX, which is a huge competitive advantage for Tesla. Finally, I truly believe that Elon Musk's Asperger syndrome enables him to be as relentless as he is at pursuing and achieving his goals, which makes him an incredible CEO.